Have you ever wondered why evil exists if God is all-powerful and good? The answer lies in the story of Lucifer, the angel who chose to rebel. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how free will in heaven led to the birth of evil, and why this ancient conflict is still relevant to your life today. Are you ready to see the bigger picture? Imagine a being so perfect, even God called it a masterpiece. In the vast expanse of creation, one figure stood out among all others: Lucifer, the crown jewel of God's handiwork. Created as the pinnacle of beauty and wisdom, Lucifer was a sight to behold, radiating with an otherworldly brilliance that outshone all other celestial beings. God imbued Lucifer with unparalleled qualities. His form was adorned with precious stones, each one reflecting the divine light in a dazzling display. Emeralds, diamonds, and sapphires were just a few of the gems that graced his appearance, symbolizing the richness of his character and the depth of his wisdom. But Lucifer's beauty wasn't just skin deep. His intellect was razor sharp, his understanding profound, and his capacity for leadership unmatched among the heavenly host. Yet, in this perfection lay a profound mystery. Despite being created flawless, Lucifer possessed something that would ultimately lead to his downfall: free will. This gift, bestowed upon all of God's intelligent creations, allowed for genuine love and devotion. But it also opened the door to potential rebellion. The tension between Lucifer's perfection and his ability to choose his own path created a dynamic that would shape the course of cosmic history. In heaven, Lucifer's responsibilities were as grand as his appearance. As one of the highest-ranking angels, he stood in God's presence, basking in the divine glory and carrying out the most sacred duties. He was a guardian cherub, appointed to protect the holiness of God and lead others in worship. His voice, unmatched in its beauty, led the heavenly choirs in songs of praise that echoed through the celestial realms. Lucifer's nature, as an angelic being, set him apart from other creations. Angels, as spiritual entities, possessed powers and abilities beyond human comprehension. They could move between dimensions, appear in various forms, and carry out God's will with incredible efficiency. Yet they were not omniscient or omnipotent. They were created beings with limitations, albeit far fewer than those of humans. As we consider Lucifer's exalted position, we can't help but wonder about the weight of such perfection. What was it like to be the brightest among the bright, the wisest among the wise? The anticipation builds as we consider the unique role that awaited this magnificent being. In a moment of divine declaration, God himself bestowed upon Lucifer a title that encapsulated his unparalleled status: the seal of perfection. This wasn't mere flattery. It was a recognition of Lucifer's role as the living embodiment of God's creative excellence. He was the standard-bearer of divine craftsmanship, a walking testament to the heights of beauty and wisdom possible in a created being. But as we marvel at Lucifer's glory, we can't help but sense a note of caution. Being the brightest star in the heavens comes with its own set of challenges. The complexities of maintaining such an exalted position, of bearing the weight of perfection, begin to emerge. As we'll soon discover, even the most radiant light can cast the darkest shadow when it turns away from its source. The brightness of Lucifer's star was not just a matter of personal glory, but of cosmic significance. In heaven's grand design, each angel had a place. But what happens when one outshines them all? The structure of the celestial realm holds secrets that challenge our understanding of divine order and free will. At the pinnacle of this celestial order stood the seraphim, living flames of pure devotion, whose very existence was a continuous song of praise to the Almighty. Below them, the cherubim served as guardians of divine wisdom and protectors of the universe's deepest mysteries. Archangels and angels followed, each with their own crucial roles in maintaining the harmony of creation. Yet among this carefully structured hierarchy, Lucifer occupied a position that defied easy categorization. As a guardian cherub, he walked among the fiery stones on God's holy mountain, a privilege that set him apart even from his fellow cherubim. This unique status placed him in direct proximity to the divine presence, a position that came with immense responsibility and unparalleled access to celestial knowledge. The relationship between angels and God was one of perfect love and obedience, yet it was not without complexity. Each angelic being, endowed with free will, had the capacity to choose their devotion to the Creator. This freedom, while allowing for genuine love, also introduced an element of potential instability into the cosmic order. Lucifer's specific duties within this framework were as extraordinary as his position. Beyond his role as a guardian of divine holiness, he was entrusted with leading the heavenly choirs. Picture the grandeur of this scene. Countless angels, their voices raised in perfect harmony, all under the direction of the most beautiful and wise among them. The music that filled the heavenly realms was not mere entertainment, but a fundamental expression of the order and beauty of creation itself. As leader of these celestial choirs, Lucifer's influence extended far beyond mere musical direction. He was, in essence, the conductor of heaven's worship, shaping the very atmosphere of adoration that permeated the divine realm. His unparalleled grace and ability to inspire others made him a natural leader, admired even by the mighty archangel Michael. Yet, as we contemplate the magnificence of Lucifer's position, we can't help but sense the weight of such responsibility. To be at the forefront of heaven's worship, to bear the title of Seal of Perfection, to walk among the fiery stones of God's holy mountain. These were not mere honors, but profound trusts placed upon Lucifer's shoulders. The tension inherent in this exalted state begins to emerge. How does a created being, no matter how perfect, handle such proximity to the divine? The paradox of Lucifer's existence, a perfect creation with the ability to choose imperfection, sets the stage for a cosmic drama that would reshape the very fabric of reality. As we stand in awe of Lucifer's position in the heavenly hierarchy, we can't help but wonder, what challenges await one who stands so close to the source of all light? The brightness that sets Lucifer apart may yet cast shadows we've yet to fathom, hinting at the complexities that lie ahead in maintaining such an elevated status in the perfect order of heaven. In a realm of flawless beings, how does imperfection take root? Lucifer's story challenges our understanding of free will and divine creation. As we peer into the mind of heaven's most resplendent angel, we uncover a truth both fascinating and unsettling about the nature of perfection itself. The concept of pride emerging in a sinless environment seems paradoxical at first glance. Yet, it was precisely in this pristine setting that the seed of discontent found fertile ground in Lucifer's heart. The very gifts that made him extraordinary, his beauty, wisdom, and elevated status, became the catalyst for an internal struggle that would reshape the cosmos. Lucifer's initial thoughts of discontent were subtle, described as a barely perceptible spark of fleeting thought. This small seed of doubt, however, began to grow, nurtured by self-reflection and an increasing awareness of his own magnificence. As Lucifer gazed upon his radiant form, adorned with precious stones and unmatched in splendor, a dangerous question began to form. Was he not deserving of more? This internal conflict illustrates a profound paradox. How can pride exist in a being created to be perfect? The answer lies in the nature of free will, a gift bestowed upon all of God's intelligent creations, including the angels. This freedom to choose, while allowing for genuine love and devotion, also opened the door to potential rebellion. Even in the purest of environments, the capacity for self-determination meant that no being, not even Lucifer, was immune to the allure of pride. As Lucifer's self-awareness grew, so did his internal struggle. His once vibrant participation in heavenly praise began to diminish, replaced by introspection and a growing sense of his own importance. The tension between his original purpose and his burgeoning desire for recognition became palpable, marking a noticeable change in his demeanor. The consequences of Lucifer's thoughts were not immediately apparent, but they were profound. Each moment of self-admiration, each fleeting thought of deserving more, laid the groundwork for a transformation that would shake the foundations of heaven. The very attributes that were meant to reflect God's glory became twisted, turning inward to feed Lucifer's growing sense of self-importance. In a tragic irony, Lucifer's extraordinary beauty, once a testament to God's creative excellence, became the very source of his corruption. As the Bible states, your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. What was intended as a gift became a weapon of self-destruction, illustrating the devastating potential of pride. As we contemplate Lucifer's internal transformation, we can't help but sense the growing conflict within him. The once harmonious relationship between creator and creation began to strain under the weight of Lucifer's burgeoning pride. His questions about his role and purpose in the heavenly hierarchy hint at a deeper dissatisfaction, one that threatens to disrupt the perfect order of heaven. Just as Lucifer's internal struggle reached a fever pitch, God unveiled a plan that would forever alter the fabric of creation. What if the next chapter in the divine story wasn't about angels at all, but something entirely unexpected? In a moment that would reverberate through the celestial realms, God announced his intention to create humanity. "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness," he declared, setting in motion a new phase of creation that would challenge the established order of heaven. Lucifer's reaction to this news was profound. The once radiant angel, already grappling with seeds of discontent, felt a surge of complex emotions. Confusion mingled with curiosity as he tried to comprehend the implications of this divine decree. Why would God create beings in his own image when angels already existed to serve and worship him? The significance of humans being made in God's image cannot be overstated. This likeness encompassed both spiritual and moral dimensions, granting these new creatures a unique capacity to reflect the divine nature. Unlike angels, humans would possess the ability to engage in a relationship with the Creator that was both intimate and distinct. As the details of God's plan unfolded, Lucifer's confusion gave way to a growing sense of unease. The realization that these new beings would hold a special place in God's affections stirred something dark within him. The notion that God himself would one day take on human form, joining the divine and human natures in the mystery of the incarnation, was a revelation that shook Lucifer to his core. God's purpose for humanity began to take shape, a plan that extended far beyond mere creation. These new beings would be given dominion over the earth, tasked with cultivating and caring for God's creation in a way that even angels had not been entrusted to do. The depth of God's love for humanity, even before their existence, was evident in the intricate design of their purpose and potential. As Lucifer absorbed these revelations, a storm of emotions brewed within him. The once harmonious song of his heart began to falter, replaced by discordant notes of jealousy and resentment. How could these lesser beings, formed from the dust of the earth, be granted such honor? The bitter realization that he, the morning star, was not chosen for the hypostatic union, the ultimate connection between the divine and the created, fueled a profound sense of injustice. The tension in heaven escalated as Lucifer's internal conflict began to manifest outwardly. His arguments against God's plan, once mere whispers in his own mind, grew more vocal and persuasive. Other angels, drawn to Lucifer's charisma and apparent wisdom, found themselves swayed by his reasoning, planting seeds of doubt that would soon blossom into open rebellion. As we witness Lucifer's growing resentment, we can't help but sense the impending conflict on the horizon. The perfect harmony of heaven trembles on the brink of discord, with Lucifer poised to make a decision that will echo through eternity. As the tension in paradise reached its peak, God unveiled a decree that would divide heaven itself. Imagine a command so unexpected, so contrary to angelic nature, that it would challenge the very foundations of celestial hierarchy. How would the mighty Lucifer respond when faced with the ultimate test of obedience? The divine proclamation echoed through the heavenly realms. The angels would be required to worship God in human form. This revelation sent shockwaves through the angelic host, their perfect understanding of the universe suddenly shaken to its core. The concept of the infinite, all-powerful Creator choosing to lower himself to mortal flesh was beyond comprehension. Confusion rippled through the ranks of angels. They struggled to grasp the implications of this command, their celestial minds grappling with a concept that seemed to defy the very nature of divinity. How could the perfect, eternal God become something as fragile and limited as a human being? The idea challenged everything they knew about the order of creation. For Lucifer, this decree ignited an internal storm. The brightest of angels, who had basked in the direct light of God's glory, now faced the prospect of bowing before a form he considered beneath him. His perfect intellect recoiled at the notion, questioning why perfection would need to humble itself in such a manner. The theological significance of this command was profound. It foreshadowed the mystery of the Incarnation, where God would ultimately manifest in human form through Jesus Christ. This act would demonstrate the depths of divine love and humility, choosing to experience the limitations and sufferings of mortal existence. Yet, what God saw as an expression of incomprehensible love, Lucifer perceived as humiliation. As the angels grappled with this new reality, the implications of their choices became clear. Their response to this command would reveal the true nature of their devotion. Would they trust in the wisdom of their Creator, even when his plans defied their understanding? Or would pride and reason lead them to question divine authority? The anticipation built as all of heaven waited to see how Lucifer, the most exalted of angels, would respond. His decision would carry immense weight, potentially influencing countless others. The perfect harmony of paradise hung in the balance, awaiting the choice of the morning star. In a moment that would forever alter the course of cosmic history, Lucifer made his choice. His voice, once used to lead heaven's choirs in praise, now rang out in defiance. He refused to bow, his declaration of rebellion resonating like thunder in heaven's silence. The perfect unity of the celestial realm shattered in an instant as Lucifer's refusal opened the door to cosmic conflict. With Lucifer's fateful decision, the stage was set for a rebellion that would reshape the spiritual landscape. The once harmonious halls of heaven now bristled with tension as angels were forced to choose sides in an unprecedented schism. Heaven trembled on the precipice of war, but the true battle began in a single heart. As we peer into Lucifer's final moments before rebellion, we uncover a startling truth. The birth of evil is quieter than you think. How does a whisper of doubt grow into a roar of defiance? Lucifer's internal struggle, once a mere flicker of discontent, now raged like a wildfire. His mind, once filled with songs of praise, now echoed with questions that challenged the very foundations of heaven. What if my light could shine brighter, he pondered. What if my glory didn't always need to serve another? These thoughts, initially fleeting, took root and grew in the silence of his heart. The implications of his growing rebellion were profound. Lucifer's position as the seal of perfection meant that his choices carried immense weight. As he grappled with his desires, the harmony of heaven itself began to waver. Other angels, drawn to his radiant presence, sensed the shift in their leader's demeanor. Whispers of discontent spread like ripples in a once tranquil pool. Lucifer's internal dialogue revealed a tragic transformation. His once great gifts, bestowed by God as a testament to divine creativity, became the very source of his downfall. The Bible describes this pivotal moment. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. What was meant to reflect God's glory now fueled an insatiable ambition. The psychological struggle within Lucifer mirrored a classic moral dilemma, the conflict between self-interest and loyalty to a higher authority. His desire for independence and recognition led him to rationalize his rebellion as a pursuit of dignity rather than disobedience. This twisted logic allowed him to justify actions that would have once been unthinkable. As Lucifer's resolve solidified, the implications for the angelic realm became clear. His charisma and authority, once used to lead heavenly choirs, now drew many angels to question their loyalty to God. The unity of heaven fractured as beings who had never known discord now faced an unprecedented choice. The nature of sin and disobedience revealed itself in this cosmic drama. What began as a subtle shift in perspective snowballed into a rejection of divine order. Lucifer's pride blinded him to the reality of his situation, pushing him further down a path of no return, despite warnings from God. Tension built as Lucifer prepared to act on his newfound convictions. His declaration, recorded in Isaiah, encapsulated the depth of his rebellion. "I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God." This audacious statement marked the point of no return, a challenge hurled at the very throne of heaven. In a cataclysmic moment, Lucifer's transformation was complete. The once radiant morning star became the prince of darkness, his light extinguished by the very pride that had fueled his ascent. This stark inversion of his purpose marked the birth of Satan, the adversary of all that is good and holy. As the echoes of Lucifer's declaration faded, a new tension filled the air. The stage was set for a conflict unlike any other, a war that would shake the very foundations of heaven and earth. Lucifer's words echoed through the heavens, and suddenly the unimaginable happened. Have you ever wondered how many angels it would take to challenge God's authority? The answer lies in a cosmic statistic that will reshape your understanding of the spiritual realm. As Lucifer's rebellion took shape, he began to gather his followers. His charisma and authority, once used to lead the heavenly choirs, now served a darker purpose. The once united angelic host found itself divided, with some drawn to Lucifer's vision of a new order, while others remained steadfast in their loyalty to God. Lucifer's tactics to convince others were as cunning as they were persuasive. He spoke with passion and presented a compelling vision of independence and recognition. His arguments appealed to the angels' sense of dignity and pride, questioning why beings of light should bow to a human form. This sowed doubt among many, leading them to question God's wisdom and authority. The concept of angelic free will played a crucial role in this cosmic drama. Each angel possessed the freedom to choose, allowing them to either remain loyal to God or follow Lucifer in his quest for power and autonomy. This freedom, once a gift that enabled genuine love and devotion, now became the very thing that allowed for rebellion on an unprecedented scale. As Lucifer's army grew, tension mounted in the celestial realms. Angels who had once stood side by side in worship now found themselves on opposite sides of an ideological chasm. The harmony of heaven was shattered, replaced by an atmosphere of uncertainty and conflict. The size of Lucifer's army was building to a shocking revelation. These were not mere foot soldiers, but some of the most beautiful and powerful beings in heaven, once the crown jewels of creation. Their transformation from loyal servants to rebels marked a profound shift in the celestial order. As the final count became clear, the full magnitude of Lucifer's rebellion was revealed. The Book of Revelation provides a startling image. A third of the stars in heaven fell from grace. This cosmic metaphor represents the number of angels who chose to follow Lucifer in his rebellion against God. The implications of this mass defection were staggering. A third of heaven's host, beings of immense power and beauty, had turned their backs on their Creator. The loss was not just in numbers, but in the potential for good that these angels represented. Each one was a unique creation, with gifts and abilities meant to serve in the divine plan. Now, those same gifts would be turned against the very one who bestowed them. As the lines were drawn and the fallen angels rallied behind their new leader, the stage was set for a conflict unlike any other. The impending battle would not just be a test of strength, but a clash of ideologies that would shape the fate of the cosmos. With the armies gathered and the battle lines drawn, the universe stood on the brink of a war that would echo through eternity. In the face of Lucifer's growing army, it seemed all hope was lost. But sometimes, the smallest voices carry the greatest power. Enter Michael, the archangel, whose humble words would shake the very foundations of heaven and earth. As Lucifer's rebellion gained momentum, a lone figure stepped forward to challenge the morning star's ambitions. Michael, an archangel of lesser rank than Lucifer, emerged as an unexpected champion of God's authority. His opposition to Lucifer was not born of jealousy or ambition, but of unwavering loyalty to the Creator. The contrast between Michael and Lucifer couldn't have been starker. Where Lucifer exuded pride and self-importance, Michael embodied humility and selfless devotion. Lucifer sought to elevate himself above all others, while Michael remained focused on serving God's will. This fundamental difference in their attitudes would shape the coming conflict. Michael's stance against Lucifer was not just a matter of choosing sides. It represented a profound theological statement about the nature of creation and its relationship to the Creator. By opposing Lucifer, Michael affirmed that no created being, no matter how glorious, could rightfully claim equality with God. The role of archangels in the celestial hierarchy took on new significance in this cosmic drama. As leaders among the angelic host, archangels like Michael were tasked with upholding divine order and executing God's will. Michael's decision to stand against Lucifer was not just a personal choice, but a fulfillment of his divine purpose. As tensions mounted and the confrontation between Michael and Lucifer drew near, the heavenly realms held their breath. The outcome of this face-off would determine the fate of countless angels and shape the course of spiritual warfare for ages to come. In this charged atmosphere, Michael uttered a question that would become his battle cry and the rallying point for the loyal angels. With calm conviction, he asked, "Who is like God?" These simple words carried immense power, cutting through Lucifer's convoluted arguments and exposing the heart of the matter. Who is like God was not just a rhetorical question. It was a declaration of God's supremacy, a reminder of the unbridgeable gap between Creator and creation. In posing this question, Michael challenged Lucifer's pride and ambition, revealing the absurdity of any creature claiming equality with the Almighty. The impact of Michael's words was immediate and profound. Angels who had been swayed by Lucifer's charisma found themselves reconsidering their allegiance. The simple truth contained in Michael's question resonated through the heavenly realms, strengthening the resolve of those who remained loyal to God. As Michael's rallying cry echoed across heaven, the battle lines were clearly drawn. On one side stood Lucifer and his fallen angels, driven by pride and rebellion. On the other, Michael led the faithful host, armed with humility and unwavering devotion to God. The stage was now set for a cosmic battle unlike any other. As the forces of light and darkness prepared to clash, the fate of creation hung in the balance. The clash that was about to unfold would transcend anything creation had ever witnessed. What happens when the mightiest of angels wage war against each other? The answer would shake the very foundations of existence. As Michael's rallying cry faded, an eerie silence fell over the celestial realms. Then, in an instant, the skies erupted with the fury of countless angels locked in combat. Lucifer, now fully transformed into the great dragon, led his fallen host against Michael and the faithful angels. The conflict that ensued was unlike any earthly battle, for this was a war of spirit against spirit, will against will. The nature of spiritual warfare became evident as the angels clashed. No blood was spilled, no flesh wounded, yet the intensity of the conflict was palpable. The weapons wielded were not swords or spears, but divine energy and raw celestial power. Light and darkness collided in brilliant displays of cosmic force, each side striving to overpower the other. Michael, empowered by his unwavering faith, faced Lucifer with resolute determination. The once brothers, now bitter adversaries, engaged in a duel that would determine the fate of creation. Lucifer's pride and anger fueled his attacks, while Michael's humility and devotion to God strengthened his defense. As the battle raged, the very fabric of the universe trembled, stars flickered, galaxies shuddered, and the cosmos itself seemed to hold its breath. The implications of this conflict extended far beyond the immediate participants. At stake was not just the fate of the rebellious angels, but the fundamental order of creation and the relationship between God and his beings. The loyal angels, inspired by Michael's example, fought with renewed vigor against their fallen brethren. Each clash was a poignant reminder of the cost of rebellion, as beings once united in purpose now sought to destroy one another. The tragedy of this division was not lost on the combatants, adding a layer of sorrow to the intensity of the battle. As the conflict reached its peak, a profound shift occurred. Lucifer and his forces, despite their considerable might, began to falter against the unwavering strength of the faithful. The power of God, channeled through Michael and his army, proved insurmountable. Lucifer's pride, the very thing that had driven him to rebel, now became his downfall. In a moment of cosmic significance, Lucifer and his fallen angels were cast out of heaven. The great dragon, once the brightest of all angels, was hurled down to the earth along with his followers. The defeat was total and irreversible, marking a decisive victory for Michael and the forces of heaven. As the dust settled and the celestial realms quieted, the full impact of what had transpired began to sink in. Heaven bore the scars of the conflict, a reminder of the terrible price of pride and rebellion. The faithful angels, while victorious, mourned the loss of their fallen brethren. Yet this was not the end of the story. As Lucifer and his fallen host plummeted towards the earth, a new chapter in the cosmic drama was about to unfold. Jesus once said, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." But what exactly did that fall entail? The expulsion of Lucifer was more than just a physical descent. It was a spiritual cataclysm that would forever alter the cosmic balance between light and darkness. As Lucifer and his rebellious host plummeted from the celestial realms, a profound transformation began. The once radiant morning star, adorned with precious gems and unparalleled beauty, underwent a metamorphosis that stripped away his divine splendor. His form, once a testament to God's creative excellence, now twisted and contorted, reflecting the darkness that had taken root in his heart. The fall was not merely a change in location, but a fundamental shift in Lucifer's very essence. As he descended further from the source of all light and love, His being underwent a spiritual decay. The wisdom that once set him apart became corrupted, warped by pride and resentment. His voice, which once led the heavenly choirs, now rang hollow with bitterness and rage. This expulsion marked the ultimate separation from God, a theological concept with profound implications. Lucifer's choice to rebel severed his connection to the divine presence, casting him into a state of spiritual isolation. The perfect communion he once enjoyed with his Creator was replaced by an unbridgeable chasm, leaving him forever cut off from the source of all goodness and light. As Lucifer fell, the nature of his new dwelling place became apparent. The abyss, a realm of chaos and darkness, opened to receive him and his fallen angels. This place, described as being beyond peace and glory's reach, stood in stark contrast to the perfection of heaven. Here, in this spiritual wasteland, Lucifer would establish his domain, a kingdom built on the ashes of his former glory. The anticipation builds as we consider the implications of Lucifer's new existence. How would this once perfect being adapt to a realm devoid of divine light? What purpose would drive him in this state of eternal separation from God? In a final, irrevocable transformation, Lucifer became Satan, the adversary. This new identity was more than just a name change. It represented a complete inversion of his original purpose. Where once he reflected God's glory, he now sought to corrupt and destroy. The guardian cherub became the accuser, the worship leader became the tempter, and the morning star became the prince of darkness. Heaven fell into a solemn silence, bearing the weight of this irreparable loss. Though light returned to the celestial realms, it was never quite the same. Like a broken mirror, paradise would forever remember the betrayal, carrying the scar of Lucifer's rebellion as a somber reminder of the cost of pride. As Satan took up his new mantle, a chilling purpose began to form in his twisted mind. His fall from grace was complete, but his story was far from over. With his gaze now fixed upon the earth and its inhabitants, a new chapter in the cosmic conflict was about to unfold. The stage was set for an ongoing battle that would span the ages, with humanity caught in the crossfire of this ancient feud between light and darkness. The fall of Lucifer wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a cosmic cataclysm that sent shockwaves through the very fabric of creation. What if I told you that this single act of rebellion reshaped the entire universe, altering the course of history and the nature of reality itself? In the aftermath of Lucifer's expulsion, both heaven and the physical universe bore the scars of this unprecedented conflict. The celestial realm, once a place of perfect harmony, now carried a permanent reminder of betrayal. The empty spaces left by the fallen angels stood as silent witnesses to the cost of pride and rebellion. The songs of praise, once led by Lucifer's unmatched voice, now resonated with a bittersweet undertone, a constant reminder of paradise lost. But the changes weren't confined to the spiritual realm. The physical universe, too, felt the impact of this cosmic upheaval. The once perfect creation now bore the marks of corruption. Chaos, entropy, and decay, concepts foreign to God's original design, began to seep into the fabric of reality. The stars, which once sang in perfect unison, now seemed to flicker with uncertainty, as if reflecting the newfound disharmony in the spiritual realm. This seismic shift in the cosmic order raises profound questions about the origin of evil. Theologians and philosophers have long grappled with this concept, seeking to understand how wickedness could emerge in a universe created by an all-good, all-powerful God. The fall of Lucifer provides a crucial piece of this puzzle. It reveals that evil isn't a creation of God, but rather a consequence of the misuse of free will by created beings. The capacity for choice, intended as a gift to allow for genuine love and devotion, became the very thing that introduced darkness into a once perfect creation. The impact on God's creation plan was profound and far-reaching. The introduction of sin and suffering into the world marked a significant deviation from the original design. Yet, in his infinite wisdom, God's ultimate purpose remained unchanged. The cosmic drama that unfolded would serve as a backdrop for an even greater demonstration of divine love and redemption. As we contemplate these cosmic consequences, we can't help but wonder about Satan's new role in this altered reality. What purpose could drive a being so utterly separated from the source of all goodness? The answer, chilling in its implications, soon became clear. Satan's mission, born out of bitterness and resentment, was to corrupt humanity, God's prized creation. His goal was to mar the divine image in mankind, to prove that God's faith in these lesser beings was misplaced. This revelation sets the stage for an ongoing spiritual battle that would span the ages. With humanity caught in the crossfire of this ancient feud, the conflict between good and evil took on new dimensions. Satan's tactics of temptation and deception would become a constant presence in human history, echoing his primordial rebellion in heaven. The battle lines were drawn, but the war was far from over. What if the greatest confrontation in cosmic history wasn't a single event, but an ongoing struggle that reaches into our everyday lives? The next chapter of this celestial conflict would reveal tactics so subtle, yet so powerful, they could shape the destiny of every soul on earth. The expulsion of Satan and his fallen angels from heaven marked the beginning of an eternal conflict that continues to this day. This ongoing spiritual warfare isn't fought with swords and shields, but with whispers of temptation and acts of faith. The battlefield isn't a physical realm, but the human heart and mind. Satan's tactics in tempting humanity are as diverse as they are cunning. We see this illustrated vividly in the biblical account of Job. Here, Satan appears before God and challenges Job's faithfulness, suggesting that Job's loyalty is superficial and contingent upon his blessings. This encounter highlights Satan's role as the accuser, attempting to undermine the very nature of faith and loyalty to God. Perhaps the most striking example of Satan's methods is found in his temptation of Jesus in the Gospels. After Jesus had fasted for 40 days in the wilderness, Satan approached him with a series of temptations. He offered Jesus food to satisfy his physical hunger, challenged him to test God's protection, and even promised him worldly power and glory. Each temptation was carefully crafted to appeal to different aspects of human nature: physical needs, the desire for security, and the lure of power. These biblical accounts provide insight into the nature of temptation and sin. Satan's approach is rarely a frontal assault, but rather a subtle manipulation of desires and doubts. He seeks to distort our perception of God, ourselves, and the world around us, leading us away from trust in our Creator. Central to this spiritual conflict is the concept of human free will. Unlike the angels, who made a single eternal choice, humans face a continual series of decisions throughout their lives. This freedom to choose is both a gift and a responsibility, allowing for genuine love and relationship with God, but also opening the door to sin and separation. As this cosmic drama unfolds, we find ourselves not mere spectators but active participants. Each choice we make, each temptation we face or overcome, plays a part in this grand narrative. The stakes couldn't be higher. Our decisions shape not only our individual destinies, but also the course of human history and the spiritual realm. Yet even in the face of such formidable opposition, hope remains. The Bible points to God's ultimate plan for victory over evil. In the book of Revelation, we're given a glimpse of the final outcome, and the devil, who deceived them, was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet had been thrown. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever. This promise of final victory doesn't negate the reality of our present struggles, but it does provide hope and purpose. As we navigate the challenges of life, we're not just surviving, we're participating in a cosmic conflict with eternal significance. Our choices, our faith, and our perseverance all play a part in this grand narrative. The story of Lucifer reveals the profound power of choice and its far-reaching consequences. Every decision, no matter how small, shapes our character and influences the world around us. Like Lucifer, we all face moments of pride and temptation that test our integrity and values. In these moments, we stand at a crossroads. Will we choose humility and service, or succumb to the allure of self-importance? The Bible reminds us, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. This timeless wisdom echoes through Lucifer's tragic journey. As we reflect on our own choices, let us consider their ripple effects on ourselves and others. In a world often driven by ego and self-interest, choosing compassion and humility can be our most powerful act of rebellion against darkness.